Good evening, whoever shows up tonight, because I sure didn't let anybody know for sure what was happening till the last minute. Because one, it snuck up on me, and two, I still struggle with topic. I got topics, I just don't know how. I want to make sure I address them in an appropriate way. It's weird not being able to hear anybody else talk on the con. That's why I've got to get somebody else to come in and talk with me. I find that much easier than trying to maintain this part of the conversation by myself. Although I listen to myself pretty good, I don't always do what myself says. So we're just going to sit back here and see if anybody shows up tonight. And if nobody does, then we'll go home early. I don't even know if my wife's going to show up. She says she kind of talked like she might not. And for some reason, my logo didn't show up. Or not my logo, but my thumbnail. Which was not my logo, but I thought it was a really good thumbnail. I talked to Mike earlier. Mike. I don't have it in front of me now. I can't say it. Really. Hey, Dean, welcome in, buddy. I don't think there'll be any problem with me getting on your show tonight because I don't think I'm going to have it. You and me might be the only ones here. I didn't really spread the word well this time. I let some things get plumb by me. But good to see you in. How are you doing tonight? Unless I have made an assumption based on facts, not in evidence. If you're going to be on tonight, I don't know if I saw I don't know if I saw you there or not. Sorry, I'm a bit. I seem a bit. Sorry if I seem a bit scattered. Well, I'll try to be in there if I'm not starved to death by then. I think I smell supper cooking, but I hadn't had anything to eat. Hi, Diana. Welcome in. And how is that ornery husband of yours tonight? Is he feeling pretty good now or better? I usually say most yawns for the morning show, but I can't stop tonight. He's a pain in the rear. That's what all wives say. Some of us think it's a conspiracy against the male sex. Or whatever gender we are this week. Diana, are you the least bit interested in Canadian football? And I mean real football, not that soccer stuff. Well, you can say it ever how you want to. This is my show, Diana. I believe in at least a certain amount of free speech on here. I've been watching the last game, I guess, of the regular season. So if I'm correct, the your version of the playoffs start this weekend, Saturday maybe. For some reason, I get some CFL channels on one station, and I don't know if anybody else's can. They usually carry a few games. I can't remember what network that is here, but I get some on Hulu, but not a lot. So right now I'm watching the final game between the Stampeders and they both got horses, don't they? Or maybe one's got cows. The Stampeders and the Rough Riders, I guess it is. Hey, Mike. Welcome in, buddy. How's your schnoz or the face or how you feeling? Maybe I said too much. Let's just back up and say, how you feeling, Mike? Well, you guys might, I don't know this, but you get Diana and Mike, and you might be fans of the Blue Bombers. Oh, okay. Well, that's nothing to be ashamed of. There are more important things in life. Tim, do you know if you have the ability to make community posts? Wait a minute. Do you know if you have the ability to make community posts? I got them enabled last week. No, I don't know that, Dean. Is that on here? And how does that work? So I was right about the Bombers. I guess there's an airplane theme going on there in Winnipeg. Am I right? I mean, in Manitoba, I mean, you've got the Blue Bombers, you got the Jets playing hockey. Oh yes, I voted last week, Mike. Or the full official vote is next Tuesday. I don't miss it. I go early because I don't want to take a chance on getting hit by a truck between now and then and not making it to the polls. I'm pretty sure if I didn't vote, I'd go straight to hell. Hey, Carol, come on in when you get home. Yeah, I've pretty much voted my whole life. I think I missed one election, and I tried to vote absentee ballot, so maybe I did, but I never was sure if I got it in time and all that kind of stuff. I didn't understand it, to be honest. That's when I lived in Florida one year. On YouTube, it's the community tab. I can make posts from my phone. So where's the community tab, Dean? Should I be looking at it? I mean, wait a minute. Then you may have to take me aside and explain this to me. Because right now I don't. Because right now I don't even know where that tab's at. Yes, it is, Diana. It's very important. And I think it's getting more and more important, to be honest. Unlike some in this country that would like to tell you otherwise. You know, Mike, that's what I always thought too, but you'd be surprised how loud some of those people want to be. Because and their excuse has always been, that's why I don't vote, because it doesn't do any good. And I don't believe in it. Now that's becoming an issue. Go to my channel homepage and look at all the tabs along. Okay. Well, I just had that open, I think. Well, hey, buddy, come here. You want to be on TV? You want to be on the World Wide Webs? What you want to do? You got something you want to say about football or voting? Huh? No? Okay. Well, Dean, Dean says, hi, Teddy. I'm looking at that, and so far I hadn't found it. Hang on a minute. Oh, there, I found it. Huh. Well, Dean, I'll have to look into that because no, I did not know that. Hi, buddy. There. What's there? You have something to say? You too. That's my boy now. Don't let anybody kid you wrong. Right now, he's as good to me as a dog would ever be. Aren't you? Or better. Carol's almost home. You want to wait till she say hi to her? If you stay up here and hang around, she'll get to see you. He's wanting attention tonight, so he's kind of been that way though for a few days. I don't think my wife's on here, but I'll have to look into that, Dean. Thank you. I'm afraid I didn't do my community much. Very proud tonight. I didn't have my act together. Honestly, for a long time today, I thought it was Wednesday. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. You usually do a show on Thursday night. Okay, Diana. This one's pretty good about doing that too. But when we're on the couch, I accuse him of putting me to sleep. He gets in my lap and gets up sometimes now and kind of under my chin and snuggles a little bit, and then he and I both are going for a nap. So I'm saying it's all his hoodoo. Aren't you? Throwing a little cat magic on me. And he weighs about as much as your dog, so, or at least he weighs a lot for a cat. And so when he lays on my legs in my lap and goes to sleep, half the time I wake up. I can't feel my legs as it is, and it's even worse when he's been sleeping on them all day. Don't worry, him. I almost canceled my stream tonight, but I may have to cancel next week. Oh, okay. Well, I certainly won't do a show. Well, I don't think I'll do a show Thanksgiving. I don't know. We might. I mean, I might. I'm not going anywhere, and it's not Thanksgiving in Canada, so maybe Mike and Diana could show. We could just have it. Maybe we could just do a 3-way phone conference or something. Who knows? Well, I'll go back to this again. I said it at first that I might just do this every other week, and I've had some who've told me that if I don't do it every night or every week, and people forget about me, and I guess that's probably true. Sometimes I'd like to have people listening, or that want to get in and talk, and then at other times I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want it to get too big or not. I'm not really looking to make a living on YouTube at this point in my life. I've kind of missed that boat, I think. Oh, you're going to do a stream Thanksgiving? Well, tell us about that, Dean. Dean, would you like to come on the air for a few minutes and talk? I'd be more than happy to send you a link because I'd like to hear how you're going to do that. And Diane, I hadn't been able to feel my legs since my bone spur poked into my spinal cord very well, and when he lays on them, they just really go away. Go with the flow. Hey, well, speaking of the devil, there's Monarch Moments. Okay, Dean, hang on. I'll send it to your, you know, that stream. Instagram. Hang on, folks. I'm doing something that some people say that can't be done. I'm doing two things at once. Well, let's see. Dean, do you have just a? There it is. There you go, Dino. Come on for a few minutes. I won't ask you to stay on while we're talking other things, but if you want to come on and talk about Thanksgiving, I think that'd be a good thing. Well, there's Brenda Pruitt. Don't believe Tim about what? You haven't been here long enough to know. And somebody's opened my door. I guess Teddy did that. Hang on, I'm going to go black for a moment. Garrett, you might ought to hang around. Believe it or not, I think enough people respect you around here that if I need a moderator, you might be the right one to have. And who knows, I might. Oh, you can, huh? Then why do you always ask me to close it when we're going to be online at the same time? I'm going to have a guest for a few minutes. Dean's going to pop in. I wanted to ask him some questions about. Oh, Carol, you missed Teddy. Hang on a minute. Come here. Come here. Come up here and say hi to Carol. Stand up. Come here. Don't you want to say hi to Carol? You said hi to everybody else. Now, come here. Say hi to Miss Carol. Okay. Say hi, Carol. Can you wave at her? You got up on the arm of the chair and said hi to everybody. All right, go down. I hope you got to see him, Carol. I hope you weren't turned around backwards. Okay, you can lay back down. It's in Hobbit terms, he's about third naps. See, it's second breakfast. Yeah, it's third naps. Because you're really loud when you don't close it. Well, thank you. Yeah, Carol, before you got here, he was standing up here on my chair, just looking around, watching the screen, doing his usual, hey, pet me, I'm Teddy kind of thing. Glad he's happy because I'm afraid we're about to lose one. No, I'm not afraid. I'm pretty sure we are. So it's going to be sad around here for a few days. We think our spooky is passing blood, so I'm afraid that's going to be a bad thing. He's 21. I just know that can't be good. So I won't go down that path right now, but you know. Oh, okay, Diana. Well, I hate to hear that. Well, I don't hate to hear it. I mean, good for you, but sorry you have to leave. Yeah, poor Spooky, Carol. He's skinny as a rail. I mean, if you saw him, you'd wonder how he was still alive anyway, I guess. Probably most people would. But he's been a good boy, and he cuddles up beside me every night to sleep. That's something new he started just within the last few months. I think I feel like that's why he's been trying to tell me that he wasn't going to be here much longer. What do you mean, bad ace? Arse. Who you calling a bad arse? Oh, you didn't say that? I bet you didn't. Were you talking to the TV? You got to be careful about that if you're using speak type. Oh, goodness, guys, I can't breathe half the time. I've had allergies bad the last couple of weeks. I hadn't had anything much bad for a couple of years. And now everything's catching back up. I think it's because I'm out amongst humanity again. Thank you, Mike. Why am I angry bear? Well, you know why I'm angry bear. I'm angry about a lot of things. I guess angry might be too strong a word, but I need to get attention. I'm angry about everything from school shootings to election deniers. And I know those are fighting words for some people, so maybe not, but I don't like either one of them. And I mean, I have bad feelings about both. Oh, you said bye guys. Interesting. It censored you for me too, and of course, you know, I probably wouldn't do that. Me personally. Yeah, so Mike and I kind of like to hear Mike and Diana's perspective on some of this, since they don't live here. I kind of like to hear what they think or what they hear in Canada. You know, they might get a whole nother story than we get here. Yeah, that's right, sweetheart. Sweet and syrupy. Just remember that. Her sweet syrupy accent spiced or sprinkled with a little bit of California. So I don't want to show hands or anything, but I hope everybody's going to vote. Mike asked me about that, or Mike asked that earlier in chat, and I don't know if anybody actually commented, but Brenda and I voted last week, so we are covered. Oh, you retracted that? You didn't have to, sweetie. I wasn't going to get kicked off for it or anything. Not like my boo boo last Saturday, which I still have to fix if I want it to go back on the air. Yeah, for those caffeinated misfit. Hey, Rhonda, I kind of like that. That sort of fits me too. Interface is different. In what way? I don't have not on this end. You mean? Howdy and welcome in. I don't know if we've seen you in a week or two, have we? Or I haven't. Others probably have. You've probably been around all over the place in other locales. The YouTube page, is it really different? Maybe it is. I don't know. Dean just taught me how to do something, or is trying to teach me how to do something from a while ago, and I had no idea. I didn't even know didn't even know it was a thing, which is not good. I mean, well, actually, my YouTube and your YouTube should look alike, though. I don't know. You'll have to tell me what's different, Rhonda. I'll tell you something. Oh, shoot. It's upstairs. I was going to tell you something else that made me really mad last week. I ruined my good fountain pen. Just when I'd really gotten back into using it again. You're on Safari? Where are you on Safari at? Oh, you're on Safari as in Apple. Well, I don't know anything about that. So Garrett might. I think Garrett uses Macs or Apple stuff. I do not speak. I think she's talking about an Apple thing. Browser, yeah. Safari is Apple's browser. Like we use Google or Windows, whatever is the new version of that on Windows. Edge used to be something else. Sorry, guys, I broke my fingernail there. So, Rhonda, not to get personal or asking you to pinpoint anything, not wanting to cause you harm or anything, but are you still in the Georgia area or are you in the Florida area? I'm only allowed to go to work. I'm only allowed to go to work. Sometimes the store. Allowed by whom? Because we'll come down and liberate you if that's what needs to be done. I don't want any of my friends locked up and not allowed to go out. Oh, we got a guest coming in. And here he comes, folks. Meet Dean the Turkey Legster. We're going to talk just for a few minutes about Thanksgiving. Hi, Dean.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Oh, yeah, Diane. Hang on just 1 minute, Dean. Now, Rhonda, if this is a cry for help, blink twice real fast. Still in Atlanta and you've got to go to Ohio? Well, God forbid. That does sound serious. All right, Dean, I want to know, what are you doing when you say you're doing a stream in Thanksgiving? What do you mean? Are you doing like a dinner room line, or are you just talking?
Well, it's a story stream since it falls on a Thursday, so I've got two Thanksgiving stories that I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
So.
I see Diane's moved, or not Diane, Rhonda says she's going to eventually move back to Ohio. I get that, sort of. I think. I've been there. I know that. We've done that before. Moved home, so to speak. Well, I wasn't sure if you were going to just read or if you were actually going to do something really like have people over online and do a remote turkey Thanksgiving dinner or something. I thought that would be quite interesting.
Well, I'll be doing the Thanksgiving with the family that afternoon, and then
hold on, dang. Welcome in, Cherie.
I'll do my stream at my regular time, likely at 9.
Okay. Is all your family in Florida?
I have one brother up in Pennsylvania and his little crew. But everyone else is down here, so they should all. Well, a couple of them, I think, actually are getting together with like the in-law side, so they won't be joining us.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah, that's the thing is, the siblings have gotten married. They've got both sides of the family they got to get together with at the holidays. And then, eventually they'll probably want to just have, their own things going too.
That's what we used to do. And that's an interesting topic unto itself. How many people go home, if you will, for the holidays still? When Brenda and I were married for probably the first 20, 25 years, we probably went home to what we call home every holiday, period. Thanksgiving, Christmas, a lot of times even the other holidays like the 4th of July. just different things. But we always went home for Christmas
What?
and Thanksgiving. And you there? I
I'm
know.
here. Can you
Oh,
see me?
yeah, I see
Can you
everything. I
hear me?
didn't know if I faded out for a minute there. Anyway, we used to go, and then our parents both lived in the same town. I mean, less than 5 miles apart. So that brought up the obvious conflict of whose house do you go to for Thanksgiving dinner, and how do you work all that out? So for years, I had I had two big meals on Thanksgiving, whether I wanted both of them or not. But we had to fight over which one we were going to, for actual lunch, or going in the night for supper or dinner, whatever you call it. And so that was always a thing. And then, and now it's not such a thing. But and the girls live here in town. They could come here. But they have in-laws now too. So that caused
Yeah.
that issue, that conflict of. I mean, it's not a conflict per se, but it's a. You got to do one or the other. We can't always do both, especially if they live far away. And Brenda is going to tell about it, I think. Let's see what she says. That was and that was primarily Christmas. We may have done that for Thanksgiving too. A few times I did that. And honestly, I guess when I say Brenda and I went back and forth, I guess I grew up learning that habit because my parents or mother on one side and parents on the other, well, most of my life, they did the same thing. They traveled from one small town to another small town and celebrated most of those big holidays too. We used to get up very early in the morning and go to one, spend half a day, and then drive over to the other one and have dinner and that sort of thing. So I guess we continued to do that as we got older, but I don't know if people do that so much anymore. I don't know if people go home, if you will, as much as they used to. Uh, I think we just kind of did it, like Brenda said, when she was growing up. They didn't have family around where she was at most of the time, so they didn't do that kind of traveling. Then later in life,
Mm.
her father would go. I mean, I don't know when, maybe when she was little, but he would go hunting on Thanksgiving, which growing up I did too. That was always the day we went rabbit hunting with the whole family. All the men in the family would go rabbit hunting on my grandfather's farm, and we'd spend half a day out doing that, and then come back and eat a big dinner, kind of thing. And that was always a fun tradition. I hate that's gone. I already shared my first holiday with Tim when I was. Oh well, that's true. So count those years up, and that's how long Brenda and I've been doing that. Because really and truly, for 6 years before we were even married, she was already going with me to holiday celebrations. So we've actually been doing this now, oh golly, 50 years. It would have to be, or 51. Oh, yeah, 51. No, that's not right. Yeah, 51. Sorry. Tim, you can change the handle and channel customization, basic info. Change the handle. Which part, Rhonda? This is becoming teach Tim hour here.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing I got. That's the they got YouTube handles now.
Yeah, I read somewhere that when they were ready for me, they would send me an email,
Yeah, I got a.
and I haven't gotten an email, so they may not want me actually. Oh,
Um,
I did, Diane or Rhonda. Sorry if I've called you Diane. I apologize. My mom
um,
used to do what? Yes, she always did, and knowing that Brenda probably wouldn't get one at that. That was my mama. So what would I change in a case like this, Diana, or not? Dean or Rhonda. What I mean, when I change my title, what can I change? What's next?
So, well, what they did for me was, I screenshotted. They just your channel name. They start with like your channel name by default,
Uh-huh.
and then let me find.
That's us too now, Carol. We just do one usually. Well, we do. If the kids have to do two, then they're on their own. We don't do the traveling running, and sometimes Brenda will go home to her mom, but they've got Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving at her mom's house is kind of odd anyway, because if her dad and brother were all funny, they didn't want to do Thanksgiving until they either came back or before Thanksgiving. So anyway, go ahead, Dean. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, well, this is, of course, I brought this up on my phone, the email. So that's what the handle is for me, youtube.com/@
Dean the turkey legs.
the turkey legster.
Okay.
So that's what I click to when you get the email, and then they should be they should take you to that page, something that'll look something like that. So it should just be for you. It should be youtube.com/@ Tennessee Bear
Okay. Well,
by default, and I guess they give you an opportunity to change it if you want, but I mean, for me, just makes sense to just have it be your channel name.
okay. I guess that makes sense. And Carol, before you say anything, we're from East Tennessee, so her being my sister and me being, her brother and having kids, that's not such a weird thing here, Brenda told Carol that she was just my mom's daughter from a different mother. I just didn't want everybody to think that was too weird. Maybe I'm the only one that made it weird.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Dave, welcome in. Thank you, Rhonda. I'll dig into all that stuff later and figure it out. Maybe if I have problems, maybe my friend Garrett will help me. I need to get him to help me fix my my copyright infringed stream from Saturday anyway, because I'm not that smart. Bears aren't known for doing computer stuff, really.
Was it a claim or a strike?
No, it wasn't a strike. It was a claim, I guess.
Oh yeah, the claims. I mean, if you can avoid them, yeah, but the claim isn't gonna affect you or your channel. It just means there was probably, I don't know, music or whatever.
Oh, I know what it was.
Yeah.
I screwed up. I know what it was. I got a little too free-handed with the videos there, but I didn't even think about it until I got everybody started saying, "Hey, you're off the air. You're off the air."
They took you off the air.
Yeah, they just shut me down. And it was over. I had pulled up a video on another channel and was sharing it on my screen, and I knew better than that. It was an old Looney Tunes cartoon, and
yeah,
Tunes isn't the one that called it. It was somebody else that had it on their website, to be honest. And they got me for that. So
yeah,
I get it. Pesky work. Oh, you got to leave, Rhonda? Oh, she is probably in and out. Oh, yeah, Rhonda, I got penalized. I got a strike. Not a strike. I don't want to use the wrong language here because I know it means different things. But no, I got whacked across the knuckles, kind of. But it was my fault. I just didn't think. And I got a letter from YouTube, and honestly, it wasn't ugly or anything. It just, and in fact, they explained that a strike would have been much worse, and but I haven't. They even kind of told me how to fix it, but I haven't gone in there to try to do it yet. So I'm not good with editing stuff, so I've got to figure that part out. You have enough videos, you will get claims. You mean I will, Dave? What is it? Man, folks are actually married their cousins, never had to decide whose family to celebrate holidays. Carol, you've got a really good point there. I never thought of that. We could have used that for years. Oh, you know, well, this is another part of that Brenda's not mentioning. We dated for several years before we got married, and then after we got married, you know, for whatever reason, we used to have people come up all the time and ask us if we were brother and sister, not knowing we were married. It was kind of a weird thing anyway back then. I guess when we were in those formative years, we looked enough alike that people thought we might be kin. And then we've searched back through our heritage, and somewhere back in that pile of confusion, we might probably are kin. Although I think it's back in Scotland or Ireland. I don't think it's close. Oh, you had a string pull from Hollywood Studios. See, that's what I don't understand either. And there's other people have said that, and Garrett may have had. I don't know if Garrett said that happened or not. I mean, how can they pull a live if you're just walking through the parks? Why is everything there not eminent domain? I mean, they're playing it out for the world. I mean, it's not like they're doing it in a secret room or something. I mean, any YouTuber basically, at least starting out, then you learn you don't want to need to monetize that video or just delete that part. Well, I'm not monetized anyway, so it doesn't cost me anything. It's not like that. I think that's what that means. Oh, Universal. I'm sorry. Well, now I have heard Universal is bad about that. I've heard they don't like stuff video, period. Well, at least rides and that sort of thing. Hey, there's a spider. Came right down sat down beside me. I don't know. I bet you can't see that on the screen, can you? Just a little.
It's live, y'all.
Drop it down the floor. Universal stupid about copyrights. I'm sitting in for.
Yeah, I've heard that about Universal.
Oh, this is.
Hey, Michelle.
Half of Monarch Moments. Do what? So, Michelle, how are you doing tonight? Let's get back to, since you're here. I hope you go back far enough, everyone's related. Well, I guess that's true. It's somewhere back there we all came out of the same gene pool or cell cluster, I suppose. I'm not trying to start a fight there about creation either. So what, you remember what it was for, Rhonda? What got pulled for Hollywood Studios? What did they tell you? Was it music or images or? Man, sorry, guys, I'm stopped up. Caffeinated Misfit says, and I just lost it. Motion Picture Company first, and I think the rest was afterthought. So copyrights are more in the forefront. Could be. I guess that could be. I just figure they're just trying to be smart alecks. Song in the show. Okay, well, I think I have heard of Disney doing that for a couple of things now with songs or music that's playing, or they get cut out or something. Seems like Josh and Jenna they've had something because of that came up, and I thought, well, that's just done as dirt. It seems like to me, but I don't understand these things, so who knows? I'm probably lucky to get the computer on and off every night. Okay, Dean, I'm going to start throwing stones, so you might You may or may not want to hang in. I'll give you that.
Well, I can hang out till about 8:30, and I gotta go get ready.
Let me see what else Rhonda said. Cedar Point, about Cedar Point. Cedar Point has a lot of similar licensing. Do they really? And they don't allow streaming on Rise Like Ember. Okay, now you may have to explain that one. I mean, I get Universal; they're a production movie company and all that. Is Cedar Point? Is that because of the character? Are their rides themed off somebody else's, like Universal's or something, Rhonda? I know that's getting deeper than I probably need to get, but Cedar Point's not like, there's not some huge Cedar Point theaters or motion picture studios. It's character licensing for their theme, so they would get in trouble with somebody else then, like Looney Tunes, for example. Don't they have some of the characters from there? I may be getting the theme parks mixed up now. Safety? Oh, Rhonda, we're going to have a long talk about this sometime. I'm really, you've got my interest piqued. That's getting curiouser and curiouser to me. Francisco, welcome in.
Hello, Francisco.
Cedar Point is Peanuts. Okay, so that would be with the Schultz family, I guess. Schultz family or whatever their name is. Okay. I said I was Angry Bear tonight. I'm not really Angry Bear, but I guess I've had this stuff keep coming up. Well, a cell phone can become a serious projectile. Oh, well, that is true. Now, that I do understand. I'm surprised more cell phones don't go sailing off the cord at Disney World, to be honest. I think people have they've done a lot of good things now. The whole phone's on, but I still am surprised more don't go sailing, especially for less serious visitors who are just maybe realize, oh, I can record this, and they pull their phone up and start, and then all of a sudden they hit that turn and whoo, there goes their cell phone. I live with an angry bear. I would assume this is still Michelle we're speaking with. And I just, every week, every day I say these things, and I know other people won't agree, but it's just like this election in this country. Everybody wants to fight, and I really worry about all this election denial. I mean, this really makes me worry about where we're going. I mean, and I know that someone could say that it either did happen before, but we didn't say anything, or it happened before and we didn't know it, or maybe it didn't happen before some of these issues that are coming up. But to go into an election ahead of that election and already be saying, if I lose, it's rigged, really bothers me. I mean, that's telling me up front that you don't believe in the system, you're not going to support the system, and democracy is already dead. Because that's the kind of thing they do in countries like Russia, where they make a mockery of democracy or anything that has something to do with it. And it really bothers me. I mean, it would be one thing to maybe contest a really close election after it's over, but to go ahead and say up front that if I don't win, I'm going to protest it because I can't lose, either tells me they're cheating already and therefore they don't believe they can lose, or they're just going to protest it and believe they should be the winner regardless of what the people think. And that makes me mad because, I grew up in an age when if the Democrats won or the Republicans won, we lived with them for 4 years and then we voted again. And if we didn't like them, we changed political parties or we changed our vote. Now it's not now it's not like that anymore. I mean, right now it doesn't seem to be. And that's the part that scares me. The part that they're already riling people up. Arizona is full of people right now running for office who are already saying that they will not, they're not, they think it's like they have to win. They don't think they can lose, and they won't say whether or not, some of them won't say whether or not they're going to accept the election results or not, which tells me they're not planning on accepting the election results. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But the fact that they're not even saying it and they're making it suspect tells me they're trying to stir it up, if nothing else. And yes, there's a lot of drama in it. I agree there, Rhonda. Let's see. Here we have to watch repeated videos, and I mean every commercial break repeated, about how one candidate put a gun to the temple of his ex-wife, etc. I can't. I don't know. I don't know what you were trying to say there, Rhonda. That word, can't watch it or can't something. Not that that's important, but I kind of get your meaning. It's kind of like that. Well, it's not so much like that here. I mean, to be honest, for certain races, certain types of year, we don't even have Democrats running. I have not seen one commercial advertisement in this part of Tennessee for a candidate for governor from the Democrats. It's all been the Republicans. That's all it's been on TV. And now that kind of bothers me too, because that doesn't look like there's two parties. That's how bad it is here, how one-sided things are, that they won't even run. And then the other candidate found some other video of the other ex-wife crying and calling him. Well, yes, and I don't know where that starts and stops, Rhonda, but it is ridiculous. I don't know how many of you remember this, and I know some of you aren't old enough to remember this, but I can remember when, oh crap, what was his name? Gary? Somebody might have to help me. Somebody's as old as me if I can remember. What was his name? He was running for president. He was I believe he was on the Democratic ticket. And this was back in the either early 80s or maybe even early 90s or late 80s. And one little thing came out about indiscretions in his marriage, and he was gone. You never heard another thing from him. I mean, it was that much. If even that much doubt was cast on you, you were out of here. Now, run forward to today, and it doesn't seem, in some cases, it doesn't seem what you say about anybody. Nobody's going to kick you out, or they don't care. I mean, I think that's gotten really bad on one side of the dial, and it's probably always been bad on both to some degree, but it's nuts. And I really worry about it. I think there's good examples of things. And I guess what I got minus about this week was a guy that took a hammer to Pelosi's husband's head, Paul Pelosi, in his home because he was looking for the Speaker of the House, and she wasn't there, so he just started beating him in the head with a hammer. And that's too much. That's too far. We've just gone way too far. I don't care what side of the aisle you voted on most of your life or have before. That's too much. And the people out there selling this stuff and spewing this stuff and saying a lot of stuff that's not true just to keep people riled up. We used to say you can't yell fire. We have freedom of speech, but we can't yell. You don't go into a crowded movie theater and yell fire. I don't guess it matters who you yell fire at anymore. No, I don't even, Michelle or Gary, whoever that is, I don't know what would have happened if she had been home. I think there had been a good chance that he would have, well, he said he would have broken her kneecaps, I believe is what he said. But, I mean, and if he just had a hammer, maybe that's what he was planning to do. Maybe he was going to just break some bones and do whatever. He wanted, I read somewhere that he said he was going to break her kneecap so that they would have to push her in a wheelchair if she made any speeches or she came out to talk. And I don't remember what his reasoning was for that, but it's crazy. I mean, I've not liked a lot of politicians on both sides of the aisle in my lifetime at different times, but I never thought about that. I never thought about going to their house and breaking their kneecaps. Oh yeah, he had zip ties to. Oh, that's right, he was going to kidnap her. And all this to me, all this goes back to January 6th when there was so much of that going on then. And then people still deny that. I mean, we still got a whole world of people that deny that even happened, that are still saying that when it was pretty plain. And I know we don't go on and talk about a lot of politics, and I know that even on this channel and this show, we've been pretty careful about that, but to me, it's just gone too far. I want us to get back to where we can have honest discourse and not automatically assume that we're all out to screw each other, because that's what it is now. Everything is already said and done, and it's just a matter of when the fire hose breaks or whatever before the whole house burns down. And it's just, I don't know. Any thoughts? I should shut up now and let you guys speak if you want to. And nobody has to speak, and I'll just rattle on for a little bit longer, and then I'll go out and I'll go in and watch Dean read a story and calm down. But it's just nuts to me. It's just too much.
Yeah, it's a very hot topic, and I've got probably 1,000 thoughts going on in my mind right now, but I will refrain from comment. And but thanks for having me on, Tim. I do need to go and get ready.
I offered to let you run before it started, Dean.
I know.
So sorry about that, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna step out and get ready for my stream.
All right. See you then. Thanks, Dean. Bye. I knew I figured I'd run him off. I figured I've run some other people off by now. So, and I don't mean it that way, but I have to say some of these things because this is why I started. I mean, this is why I started this Thursday night stream, so that we could at least talk about some of these things. And I'm like I said, I'm open for whatever anybody else would like to say. I'm not going to dominate the conversation tonight. Well, I mean, I will if I have to. I guess I have to say something, but I don't know. It's just been a little bit much for me. In some ways, I straddled that fence for a long time because there were certain things I believed in and certain things I didn't, and I had to figure out some way to put the two together, and that's never an easy thing. And then it got to the point where I just didn't even want to put them together, and now I do want to kind of put them together, but I want us to figure out a way to talk about them without just pointing fingers and accusing each other. It's one thing to differ in some politics. I mean, some arguments or issues. It's not, but we're not supposed to be out there threatening each other and riding on the court, on the Capitol steps and going into people's houses and breaking into them. And, I don't know. Maybe I've said too much already. Ninja watching while I get ready. Tim, great being on me. Thank you, Dean. I appreciate you coming on. And, I would love to have anybody else on if they ever wanted to take that chance. Perhaps Rhonda would like to get on sometime and talk, or be in a round table or something to that effect. Topics won't be always so as controversial as this, but I can't promise they won't there won't be some topics that are. That's what I said coming in, and now it's your turn to tell me why I'm wrong, because I'll try to listen and accept that. I know we all have that right. Oh, you're normally at work tonight. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Rhonda. I didn't. That's just where I ended up on a Thursday night. Who knows? That may still change in the future. I'm still trying to work it all out. Now, here's another one I'll throw out there and just kick it around. I actually wanted to do a show on this, but it fits into this kind of the same way. There's at least 3 or 4 states now that I know of in the West who have held that during this election cycle, they are holding county elections, and those counties are voting whether or not they want to secede from the states they're in and try to move into another adjoining state, so that because they believe their political ideas better reflected in that state, so they would like to take counties and have the state line redrawn, and include their counties be included in another state, and I know of at least 3 states where that's happening. I believe that's happening in this year in all 3. I know it's happening in one, and I've been told it's happening in the other 3, or at least there are people in the other 2, talking about it. And Carol has said, thank you, Carol. It is just so polarized. I am too far left for some people and too far right for others. In my opinion, people could get along better if they weren't just 2 sides. Well, that might be a good point, Carol. And some people have said that one of our problems in this country is we have pared it down to 2. It kind of always has been 2 in this country in a sense. I mean, and it's really not 2. I can remember when there used to be a half a dozen or a dozen different political candidates running for president. It's just that most of them didn't get voted for. Independents should be there should be a group of independents, I think, anyway. Libertarians and Communist Party had a vote. The Libertarians had a candidate. And a bunch of others I can't remember anymore, but they used to be listed on our ballot, and because you could go down through there and see them all. And I know people that used to go down through there and vote for people that weren't getting other votes by the main parties. But those parties didn't really get involved in a lot of the discourse. Well, you know what, too, Brenda, you've got a point. People have to want to before it can happen, and if they really don't want to, I guess they're just not going to. Carol, I fit in that circle too a lot in some ways. One, I was born and raised, and I'm not trying to set political lines here. I'm really not, but I will say it so you know. I was born and raised in a staunch Republican family, and I don't just mean my parents. I mean their parents and maybe their parents before them. My grandmother on my mom's side she had, at that time, she had Republican lawmakers from her districts in her state, part of the state, whether they be state or federal. I would say on speed dial, but she didn't have such thing as speed dial. But she didn't hesitate at all to write them a letter in an effort to get something done she thought ought to be done. Now, I'm sure most of those letters went unanswered, but some of them didn't. And so, and they would never vote for anybody else, period. And I used to get in pretty fun discussions. I mean, they were serious, but they were not mean. Discussions with some of my family about that as my views started to change. And and I could do that, and we'd both kind of laugh about it when it was over. And then it got to where we couldn't do that, and it was like, how dare you? I mean, you can't. Your grandmother would roll over in her grave if she knew you said something like that. But at the same time, as I've told somebody else one time, I may be. Some people might think I'm extremely liberal, but I'm a gun-toting liberal. And the fact of the matter is, if that gun-toting side of things decides that they can just come and get us all, they got a thought coming, because that's not true. So I'm not that far right or left, I mean, but I'm certainly not far right. I mean, I've always been in the middle, and I used to vote independent, and I voted for both sides of the aisle, as it were. I have voted for independent candidates. I've voted for Republican candidates. I've voted for Democratic candidates. The last few years, that's been harder and harder to do, though. Harder and harder to do. I'm trying to learn to talk with my new teeth, people. So, see, bear with me. The bottom ones are a lot easier. They're screwed in. Anyway, so, and I know I'm not super religious like a lot of folks here, but I don't have anything against that if you are. I truly do believe every person has to make their own choice when it comes to God or no God, or Jesus versus Buddha or Muhammad. I mean, I think there's room for all of us out there. Let's see here. Carol said something else. I mean, within each party, there isn't much variety in the opinion. No, that's true. It used to be easier to look at individual candidates in each party and decide based on those whose platform most closely matched my views. That's very true, Carol, because everybody didn't seem to have to didn't feel the need to put the same shoe on every foot. There's a better way to describe that now I can't, it didn't used to have to be a one size fits all. Neither party. Yes, we had political platforms that represented the vast majority of maybe the Republican Party's ideas or the Democrat Party's ideas, but it wasn't a one size fits all for everybody out there, that you either had to have these things in your palette or your platform, or you couldn't run as a Republican, or you couldn't run as a Democrat, or whatever the case may be. And that's true too, Rhonda. We didn't used to really talk about that part much. I mean, yeah, we knew, a lot of people knew what you were and who you voted for, or knew what parties you ran with, but we didn't really talk about our votes. Once you went inside that booth and pulled that curtain, you didn't talk about that. I mean, that was your own personal choice and your own personal business. And I'm sorry, I do have the World Series on in the background with no volume. I thought I saw something happening. Apologize for that. Yeah, I'm still red-blooded American. I still believe in baseball and apple pie and all that. Garrett told me recently, I think we were on one of these conversations, that, I can't have my cake and eat it too. And he's right. I can't make everybody get along. I can't make anybody think like I do. And I'm sure I'm not always right, just as much as I'm sure everybody else isn't always right. But sometimes it probably doesn't come out that way. There are websites now where you can look up if someone is registered and if they voted or not in the last election. Oh, that's wonderful. Didn't realize that, Rhonda. I've never looked for that. But in some things, it doesn't matter who you're registered for. You may not vote that way. I mean, pretty sure for years in Tennessee, because you don't have to, in Tennessee, I can vote in either primary as long as I say I'm going to vote in Republican primary or I'm going to vote in Democrat primary. But it doesn't matter how I'm registered in the state to vote. Either way, doesn't matter. I can vote for either one. But I know there are states where that's not allowed. You're registered this way, you vote this way. At least till you get in the final ballot booth. Keep going, Ron. I'd like to hear more about that. One of my friends posted a pic of a letter she received, sends the names. It's not allowed there. I didn't think it wasn't there. And if you're undeclared, you don't get to vote for the party, for any of the party stuff. See, and that's wrong. That shouldn't make any difference. If you're registered to vote, you should not have to declare your party. You should be able to vote for whoever you want to. You just have to realize that chances are, in most cases, you're probably not, your candidate may not win if if you're voting not for the two main parties, but you still should be able to do that regardless. And they shouldn't be able to block you. And I hate to say this, but I know where you're at, and that's to me, that's just another example of a way to keep people from voting. Well, now that I think about it, I'm not even sure. I think the only way I'm registered either way would be maybe be the whatever particular primary I may have chosen to vote on at any particular time. Because on my voter registration, I'm not sure it says. Ask me which team I play for. There are many reasons I want to leave this state, and I can only imagine. We have a friend that lives down there. She feels kind of the same way. The governor in the last election showed a commercial where he was pointing a rifle toward his son. Oh, that's lovely. I don't know if I remember that or not. Yeah, Brenda keeps telling me we're going to go to New Zealand. Yeah, I don't remember that, Ron. Was that on purpose or was he just, pardon me, folks, a dumbass accidentally pointing at it and didn't even realize? Too dumb to know better, I guess is what I'm wondering. Oh, I will do that. Write that down, Brenda. I pulled it up. I clicked it, so I'll look at it in a bit. Well, that's not too smart. And for what it's worth, I mean, if you think I got upset tonight, you really haven't seen me get upset. So I get a bit irritated at times. Well, I've got really low turnout tonight, so I guess I did run some people off anyway. So I hate that, but then again, I knew that coming in. I do get tired of constantly reading about school shooting. And I'm not saying we got to take guns away. Like I said, I'm pro gun, but I'm pro responsible gun. I used to belong to the NRA, but I don't anymore because I got tired of their particular politics. Uh-oh, did I get cut again? Can you guys still see me? Because I suddenly don't have anything in live chat anymore. Oh, there it came back. But that's only top chat. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Wow, that was scary. I thought I'd been censored again. Oh, Carol, if you need to leave, you can leave. You know I wouldn't be angry at you. Yeah, I'm back. I got it, Dean. It came back. It all went blank for a minute on my end, and I thought, oops, I guess I did say too much. You know what? You know what I've told you before, Carol. You don't have to outrun me. You just gotta be able to outrun the person beside you. And if I'm the bear that's chasing you, then you're pretty safe anyway, because I can't chase anybody. I wish we could too, Rhonda, and I don't understand why we can't. I've asked that before, and obviously that's not a thing. You think you could pick whichever one you want, and I don't even know why there are two for that matter. But Carol, I can give you a little hint about how to get away from him. Just run. He can't keep up. Thanks, Brenda. You're a big help. I'm sorry, guys. Hang on a minute. I gotta clear my nose a little bit. Keep telling stories about me, Brenda. Okay, back. Sorry about that. I'm not even sure it helped much, but yes, Brenda is actually looking into that. I'm not even sure right now if she needs one or not anymore. I can't tell by, I gotta keep up with that, but I want her to have all the education. And I used to teach hunter. I used to teach hunter education. I used to teach safety. I used to train people that had never picked up a weapon before how to, do it safely, because I believe in safe handling. To me, guns, while they are for self defense, that shouldn't be the only purpose they exist. I like to target shoot, and I like to plink, if you will, and used to like to hunt. I don't hunt much anymore, but I think those are legitimate uses. Now, if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, you might not agree with all that, but I do, and I do for several reasons. I'm a wildlife biologist by trade, and I know that today's world you can't control wildlife populations seriously unless you have a way to control the numbers, and the only way to do that is to have legal and controlled hunts. So you got to do something, but that's a whole other topic, I realize. But and I'm not saying everybody out there should be armed. I don't buy the theory that everybody in a classroom, I don't think Carol should be carrying a hand. Now, if Carol carries, that's fine, but I don't think you should have all the teachers in a school teaching kindergarten or whatever level, and they've all got handguns. They're strapped. Teachers are there to teach. They should not have to worry about that. And that's just, it drives me up the wall when that becomes a big argument, because that's somehow going to fix everything, and it's not. Now, and at the same time, I realize that more gun control laws in most states won't fix everything. And the NRA and folks will argue that, well, if we just enforced the ones we got now, we wouldn't have a problem. And that's probably true. But you know what's wrong with that is every time they try to do that, then that same bunch argues that they are being picked on. So anyway. Oh, I got stories. No, Brenda. How much money are we talking about? Am I going to have to try to pay you all? Carol is a vegetarian. And I forgot that. I was thinking Rhonda might be too, but I wasn't sure. I agree there too, Carol. When it comes to wildlife, the reality is wildlife have become so adaptable that if you don't do something to try to trim their numbers, they're going to all die off by disease. And there's nothing crueler than that. And there's just going to be more accidents on highways. There's going to be more problems. It's a never ending cycle. And I don't know. Well, I was thinking you were, Rhonda. Please forgive me if that was misspoken. And I will now take that back. I thought I wasn't sure if you. Okay, you're not. Bacon, to me, bacon should be the perfect reason why nobody's a vegetarian. But that's just me, because I think bacon makes everything better. I mean, it makes vegetables better. Anyway. Okay, it's almost 9 o'clock, guys, and I started half hour late today, so I can't carry a farm while teaching. I might drop my coffee. Oh, don't take this wrong. I love you. I love that. Oh my goodness, Carol, thank you for being here. You really helped a lot. I mean that. And I told Dean I would try to come in and see him tonight because I haven't been doing that. I haven't been out with and going into chats and supporting my friends like I should. And I'm going to try to do that better unless everybody watches this video, and then I may not have any friends left on YouTube. I'm not sure yet. Maybe a couple of you guys and Dean will still hang around. Anyway, let me finish one thing I started saying. I used to teach gun safety and range safety and all kinds of safety classes because I don't think anybody should be armed if they don't have that kind of background or that kind of teaching. I don't believe in that kind of. I know there are going to be some that will say that, oh, in this country everybody should be able to carry a gun. I don't agree with that because that's how people get hurt and that's how accidents happen and all kinds of things. But the reason I got out of that and the reason I quit I dropped being in the NRA was because of how they acted. You will, Dean, you will. Was because of how they acted after Columbine, and they just wouldn't talk about it. They wouldn't get on board with any conversation about what we could do about it. None. And it was a closed door. And I just decided I wasn't going to send my money there. If they weren't willing to do some talking, then yeah. Well, I had Rhonda. I wasn't sure if I wanted to mention the name Rhonda because I didn't want to put anybody in a bind. I'm trying to be somewhat not PC. That's another topic I'm going to bring up one night. But every chat needs a smart A. That's me. Well, maybe it is, Carol. Oh, okay, did I miss something? Is that still Michelle or do we have Garrett now? Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off so I can get moving. And actually, Brendan and I haven't had dinner yet, so maybe we're gonna do that tonight. I'm not sure. I know I smelled it cooking, but I am going to do that. So, thank you, Dean, for posting that. I should have done that. And since you're a moderator here in my chat, you can do that yourself. And I will be on Saturday. I don't even have that. I can't even post my own link. I really don't know how to do that. Okay, anyway, and I will be here Saturday. I hope some of you can make it. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about yet. I talked to my. I thought you might find that a funny misspoken thing. Instead of moderators, I called you mobsters, but I meant to correct myself. But maybe mobsters are what we need. I do appreciate you all coming in and joining the conversation. I'll probably not be so angry next week. I'll probably try to find something to talk about a little bit less controversial. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I'm trying to do this and get other folks to speak out too, and not feel like you can't do that here. That's part of the reason I am doing it. And So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, I wasn't really that angry. I just used that for my name. But I was, trust me, earlier in the week I was pretty angry. I'm just really disgusted with some of us these days. And I haven't been watching actually. Does anybody know if there's a score? Oh, 1-1. Geez, it's only in the third. It's been a long game already. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. You know how to get a hold of me. If anybody wants to talk to me or tell me I'm an asshole in private, you're welcome to. I've been called much worse, I promise you. And I can take it. Because you don't even know what Brenda's going to call me when I get off here. There's another Philly Houston game? Football? Are they playing football tonight too? Or maybe it's hockey? No, Houston doesn't have a hockey team. Dallas does. Well, thank you. Again, I don't know if that's Michelle or Garrett, but I really appreciate that. And I love you guys for being here. I really do. It does mean a lot to me that people show up and listen to my diatribe. And football on Amazon Prime. You know, I keep forgetting that they carry it on there. All right, guys, let's go. Let's all go over to see Dean. I tell you what, if anybody else goes to see Dean tonight, tell him that you're all mad. And when you get in there, that I sent you mad and you're all fed up. Oh, hey, welcome, Kyla. I don't even know how you pronounce her name. Kayla? Now, that means Garrett's back in charge, I'm thinking. So now I shouldn't have, I don't know how to feel about that. Yeah, bite Garrett. Please bite Garrett for us. Although be careful. If you have any open wounds in your mouth, be sure you rinse it out quick because it could make you sick. All right, guys. See you next time. So long.